used to work in Knoxville. I guess it's on the brain. In Charlotte, and Charlotte's not a city with a big university here that you guys are.
You're down in the 49ers.
Some people are right now. But what is this city like as a college football town?
I think that the response that this game has gotten has proven that college football is popular in a lot of places, especially when you have a fan base like Clemson's, which will fill pretty much any stadium that the Tigers happen to be playing in. And there's been a lot of excitement surrounding Miami and the resurgence of them. So I think Charlotte's a great host city. I've been to a number of events here over the years, and they've always done a first-class job with it. So this will be this will be a great atmosphere on Saturday night.
Hey, Rece, talk about your 2 years on college game day. What is your favorite place to go to? And the 2 years have been taken over.
Well, it's 3 years now.
3 years.
So since I'm here, Charlotte. No, no, there have been a lot of great scenes, and we've had several of them this year that have just been tremendous. But maybe a prisoner of the recent, but the scene that we had at Miami on campus for the show, the first time the show had ever been on campus, was remarkable. They were worried that they wouldn't get much of a turnout, and I showed up, between 6 and 6:30 to go to the show, and the line was all the way around the Shalala Center and by that lake, and people as far as you could see. So I go in, finish up some stuff, come back out to go to the set at like 8:20, 8:30, something like that, and the line is longer. And they've already let people in. I mean, it just continued to grow, and as the show went on, it was just a sea of humanity on that beautiful, picturesque campus, and everybody was excited, obviously, for the return, and then they delivered in the game against Notre Dame, and with the exception of the game last weekend, they've delivered every week.
And what do they have to do to get into the playoffs? Do you think if they play closely, against Clemson, should they be in because of what their body of work is?
I wouldn't say that. I'm not going to be disingenuous and say that. I think they have to win the game. Clemson has an opportunity if it loses and the right set of circumstances happen. On the show Tuesday night, I said that I thought maybe Clemson would be in anyway, and Jesse Palmer rightly pointed out, what if Wisconsin and Georgia win? Right. That would be a circumstance under which I think they probably would not. But I think I'm sort of assuming Auburn's going to win. So I think Clemson has a chance with a loss in a highly competitive game, that it would be a very good chance that they could get in. But I think Miami has to win. Miami is in a pure quarterfinal situation. Win and in, lose, and have a really nice bowl and a great season.
Surprised that the ACC is in Charlotte? Are you surprised that the ACC is first time here in Charlotte? And what does that say about the resurgence of the conference? That this has college football playoff implications.
Well, look, you could make the argument that Clemson's taking over the sport as the premier dynasty. Now, Alabama has been longer, but they're about to, if they can win, they'll win the third straight ACC championship, go to the playoff for the third straight year, have a chance to go back-to-back national championships. If they were to win, it'll be a challenge. I'm not saying it's a foregone conclusion, but what the ACC has done in terms of upgrading its coaching and its level of play, commitment to the sport, I think sometimes we overdo all of this conference supremacy talk, because really what you're talking about, there are elite teams in several conferences, but there's some depth here. And Clemson has been the standard bearer for the last several years in terms of facilities and excellence and recruiting and pay scale and you name it. They've sort of set the bar, and if you want to compete with them, you have to keep up.
Alabama wins the Iron Bowl. You think you're here this week?
I don't know. Toss up, probably. If you have undefeated Alabama #1, maybe we're there. But I mean, this is pretty high level stuff. This is still, you would have had a toss up on either one. Both would have been straight out quarterfinals. They still are, but you have the reigning national champion and the #1 team here, so that tipped the scales in the ACC's favor, I think.
Rece, when Miami, I'm curious. They've been two different teams. On the road, playing down the competition, and at Hard Rock, they've been almost unbeatable. What do you think you see tomorrow as far as the Miami team and what kind of team they put on the field against Clemson?
I think they'll play hard, and they'll play with purpose and passion, trying to prove that what happened last Friday at Pittsburgh wasn't them, that was the aberration. But your point's well taken. I mean, early in the season, they pulled some out of the fire. Now, that's to their credit. But I think it's also probably reflective of a relatively young team in some spots, and if not necessarily just young in personnel, they're young in the evolution of the program under Mark Richt. Year two, program, it's kind of odd because the players turn over, but somehow programs sort of develop maturity over the course of time. And they're still in the infant stages of their resurgence and becoming a national brand and championship level contender again. So I think some of that you see as a result of that. Some of that is the fact that Malik hasn't played much until this year. And so, you see some growing pains along the way. But I think it's to their credit that they've only stumbled once, found ways to win close games early, grew in confidence as the season went along, played their best in their two biggest games at home against Virginia Tech and Notre Dame, and now they have another opportunity away from home to show that they've taken yet another step.
Rece, when you look at how different this Clemson team is, what impresses you the most that they were able to be back in position to win the ACC again?
I think probably the quarterback is the biggest thing. Now, might have been true last year, and it's certainly true this year. The most dominant and devastating position group in all of college football is the Clemson defensive front. So that's going to keep you in a lot of games, regardless of who's playing quarterback. But Kelly's development and steady hand over the course of the season, stepping in for a guy who won the national championship for them last year. I mean, let's be honest about that. If that's not Deshaun Watson over there, they probably don't win. But he was, and they did. And for him to be able to step in, play with, I think, a pretty good level of consistency over the course of the season and be as important as he is from a leadership standpoint is really, really impressive. I think that and finding another dude like Etienne who is pretty explosive, but Dabo's been recruiting at such a ridiculous level. They're just rolling the next dude in there.
Anything else?
Appreciate it.